What is going on, big ballers? It's your boy Manny MJ coming at you with another episode of the Fantasy Football Sports Minds. Here with my co-host Joe Birdman. How you doing today, brother?
Well, Manny, it's been a very difficult day. We were talking a little bit before we started rolling. It's been a tragic day for America. We lost a good one today, and it was in a horrifying manner. Charlie Kirk was assassinated, shot in the neck in front of the entire world, and now his wife and his two beautiful children are without a father. And I consider myself to be a very strong person, but this was very difficult for me today.
And I as a father feel most heartbroken for those kids that are gonna have to grow up and see that. That's gonna be terrible. And I pray that they get through it as a family. But our prayers are out to the families, and we hope they get this guy and give him some good punishment or justice.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
On another note, why don't we go ahead and get into news and notes? But first, a word from our sponsors.
Hey there, my name is Manny James Gonzalez with PRB, and I'm a real estate agent here in Central Florida. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, military relocation pro, and big supporter of 2A and veterans' rights. My specialty is VA transactions. I'm also experienced in all parts of real estate.
I've been living in Florida for over 20 years, and I can tell you we still believe in freedom down here. One of the greatest job markets, excellent economy, and no state income tax. When it comes to an agent, you want one that's going to be honest, not afraid of a fight, and most importantly, willing to do the things that some agents aren't willing to do.
And what's that, Manny?
Shoot straight, Dan. If you're ever considering buying in Central Florida, you need somebody you can trust, and I got your six. I'm Manny James Gonzalez, buying land for the free and home for the brave.
Welcome back, ballers. Now let's get into some news and notes. A few minor things that we got to touch on. San Francisco 49ers tight end George Kittle was placed on IR and will miss at least 4 weeks. And Jacksonville Jaguars running back Tank Bigsby was traded to Manny's Philadelphia Eagles. And as you know, a few days ago over the weekend, the Cleveland Browns signed their second-round draft pick, Quinshon Judkins. So it's official. He's a Cleveland Brown, and he's probably gonna miss this week, but who knows? It's possible he plays, but I'd assume he's suiting up for week 3. And we've got some people to pay attention to that did not practice. At running back, Christian McCaffrey, Jalen Wright, and Quinshon Judkins. But Judkins obviously was not an injury. Jalen Wright, knee. McCaffrey is calf. Wide receiver, Juwan Jennings, Xavier Worthy, and Wan'Dale Robinson did not practice. At tight end, Dallas Goedert, Darren Waller, and Isaiah Likely. And unfortunately, at quarterback, Brock Purdy appears to be a long shot to play in week 2. And he could even be sidelined for several weeks, according to head coach Kyle Shanahan. He's got a shoulder and a toe. It's his non-throwing shoulder, but a shoulder and a toe. Apparently his toe is really bothering him. So keep an eye on that and make arrangements at quarterback.
Welcome back, ballers. Now we're going to go ahead and get into our hot matchups of the week. Joe, you want to start us off over here?
Yeah, sure. My hot matchup of the week is the Commanders versus the Packers. We know the weapons that both of these teams have. And we got to see Debo come alive last week too, which was a very pleasant surprise. I figured he was going to be involved in the run game due to the trade of Brian Robinson Jr. So that was great to see. He's kind of like the guy we saw a few years ago in San Francisco. And it's great to see him back in that role. To be completely upfront with you, I thought he was washed. I didn't think he had it in him, but he does. And, of course, you got Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. And Zach Ertz, who I have in a handful of leagues. That offense is high powered. They're ready to go. I know that Green Bay is a difficult defense, but that kind of offense is going to get through Green Bay and score some touchdowns. And then, of course, at Green Bay, you got Jordan Love and you got Josh Jacobs and a plethora of receivers. I'm not exactly sure what to tell you to do with the Green Bay receivers. I mean, Matthew Golden, I have him on a couple teams, and he's a very hot prospect, but it may take him a few weeks to get warmed up. But I feel like Jordan Love is a really good start this week. And of course, Josh Jacobs. And if you got Tucker Kraft at tight end, he's probably going to give you a solid floor as well.
Oh, yeah. I can see how that could be high scoring for sure. Now, for my matchup of the week, of course, I'm wearing a jersey, right? So you would expect me to talk about the Super Bowl rematch. Defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles going back against the Chiefs here. And it looks like it's going to be at Arrowhead Stadium. I love it how they give them home field advantage. Thanks, NFL. You're going to disrespect us like that? Okay. We're going to go to your house and we're going to spank that ass one more time, all right? So don't mess with us. Don't think it's a game. And Jalen Carter will be there, so watch out, Kermit. We're coming for you. But, hey, some other positives on the Chiefs side. Hollywood Brown, 10 receptions on 16 targets. 99 yards. He had a good run. Kelsey, not so great, but every time he goes up against Derwin James, he just gets his ass cooked. Because now that Kelsey's older and Derwin is still in his prime, now he's winning those matchups. Because you remember that notorious power bomb that Derwin James had on Kelsey a couple years ago, right?
Well, I remembered after you brought it up, and then I started looking at past matchups, and you're right. They've got a rivalry going on there.
They do. And Kelsey used to win them, but now lately it's been Derwin. So, but he did have a touchdown scavenger here. And the reason why I bring up Kelsey is because this matchup is going to be a little bit better for them. Eagles are still trying to figure out their second cornerback. So our defense is not going to be as dominant as we were for the Super Bowl. But what we will see is a more confident Chiefs offense because they've probably been game planning for this. And you're going to see a heavy involvement of Hollywood Brown, Jason Kelsey. You might even see some Kareem Hunt out there, with a lot of those gadget plays they like to run.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they're going to do with Kareem Hunt. And, man, I've been a Hollywood Brown fan for so many years. And this is the one year where I'm like, oh, no chance I'm drafting him. It's always circumstances that change things. But he looked amazing, man, and 16 targets. Wow. And I think he and Kelsey are both going to put up big numbers just because who else you have,
Yeah, no, definitely. It's going to be a fun match.
Now let's get into our cold calls of the week.
Colder than Buffalo.
What's that?
It says colder than Buffalo in here.
Oh, I thought you said Buffalo is your cold call. I was going to say, my goodness. You got to explain that one to me. Who is your cold call?
Cold call. Well, I'm glad you asked. I was scouring the bottom of the barrel for this NFL slate of games, and I was looking to see where are these lightweights fighting at. And I came no further from my option this week, which is the Patriots and Dolphins. I know that Patriots have a little bit of a decent offense, right? They had a tough matchup last week, but at the end of the day, Miami's terrible on defense, so I'm sure Patriots are going to get a few good touchdowns in there. You might even see some Devion Henderson love, right? Like he should be getting some touches. I'm sure he'll out-touch Ramondre Stevenson here very soon. But the reason why I think it's going to be low scoring is because Miami can't get anything together. They can't get Tyrese the ball or Tyreek Hill. All they do is fight on the sideline, and it's just a very dysfunctional team. And it's only a matter of time before that head coach gets fired because he already lost the team. So I expect it to be boring, slow, and not high scoring because let's just face it, both teams are ass.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said there. And the team does appear to be already in complete disarray. Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, they all look terrible. As we discussed before we started recording, the the meaningless fourth quarter touchdown from Devon Achane saved him. But that was the only score for the entire day. And the Patriots defense is kind of tough, and it's probably not going to get much better for anyone on the Dolphins this week. I mean, we'll see how the season pans out. But, at the same time, the Patriots, they didn't look awful, but they didn't look great either, aside from Keyshawn Boot. But nobody had him in their lineup, and he's still on waivers in most of my leagues. But Drake May was okay, but you don't want like 15 points from your quarterback. You want 20, 25, 30. And Travion and Diggs, I think they just need a few more weeks to get warmed up. I mean, it's possible they get it done in week 2 because Miami sucks. But, I mean, those are the only two guys I'd probably start for both of those teams. The only one I would be confident with is Travion and Stephon Diggs, because everyone else on that football field is making me really nervous.
Yeah, and Devon Achane is not going to run like all day on the.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'd play Achane too.
Well, Devon Achane is going to be running on that Patriots front line, bro, and they added 2 key pieces in the offseason. So they've actually been really tough. I think they're going to be a tough defense to run on this year. Maybe not so a little bit more susceptible on the pass. But I think that they're going to possibly, with the dysfunction over there, that Achane might even be a super risky start, Maybe he gets hurt.
Yeah, it makes me nervous. I'm just saying if I had him, I'd put him in. But, yeah, it makes me nervous to see him on the field because that's a tough defense, and he didn't look great last week. If he gets a little banged up, I'm not sure what they're going to do with their run game. Now, for my cold call, I have the 49ers and the Saints. I feel like the 49ers are having deja vu from last season. Everyone's injured again. Ayuk, Kittle, and apparently, as we discussed earlier, even Brock may not play this weekend. Juwan Jennings is still banged up and did absolutely nothing last week. So you're leaning entirely on CMC and Ricky Pearsall, which it's great to lean on McCaffrey, obviously. And I do feel like he needs someone else in there like Ricky Pearsall to at least spread the defense a little bit. But it does look like Mac Jones is going to be the starting quarterback, so I'd lower my expectations for Pearsall a little bit. Still super high on McCaffrey, but it's just not the best recipe for a high-scoring game. And on the other side of the field, it's bad. You've got Juwan Johnson, who looked pretty good. Olave was slightly above average, and Kamara scored a touchdown, but none of it was pretty. And we see every season Juwan Johnson has those like a few random games with big numbers, and then he falls off the face of the earth for the next 6 weeks. So I'm not like a guy. He's not a guy I'm running out to add off waivers, and who knows, that could bite me in the ass. But like, I don't have a lot of confidence when Spencer Rattler's throwing you the ball, and I believe this offense is going to struggle all season.
Oh yeah, agreed. When you have a quarterback that's a question mark, the question is, are you trying to do your best, or you're really just trying to tank and get that number 1 pick next year, right? So Saints are clearly in a rebuild mode. They haven't made any big free agency acquisitions, any big extensions if you look at their team. And they have a lot of older players like DeMario Davis, Cam Jordan, guys that have been there for years, right? So they possibly could be looking to build in the future. So I definitely wouldn't expect anything from them. And if you have Kamara, don't expect that gravy train to last all year, fellas. So if you have him, sell him off about halfway through the season, because he's going to start falling off by then, because that team's only going to get worse.
Yeah. Good luck with that team. Now let's get into a couple shit calls.
I'll start off here. So obviously, okay. I wasn't doing the show last year or last week. Last week, guys. So, but I'll give you a shit call, and it'll be from a move I made in fantasy football. So I ended up cutting Dylan Sampson, the rookie running back. I cut him the day of or the day before the game day, just to pick up a handcuff for Chuba Hubbard. And I dropped him, and he ended up going off for 18 points or whatever it was. So, my shit call was I should have trusted in myself and held on to one more day. and I would have been able to trade him and get a little bit better value back.
Yeah, I feel like I do that. I'm good for that at least a couple times a year, where I drop someone and then they go off.
Yeah.
Now for my cold call, I'm sorry. Jesus, we're all over the place today. For my shit call, I told everyone to stay away from the Steelers and the Jets. I believe the run game for the Jets would be all over the place, and it would just be altogether a low-scoring game. But Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields balled out, and Breece Hall finished the day with over 100 rushing yards and 145 all-purpose yards. So the defenses didn't show up, and they passed the over-under by 30 points. So missed the mark on that one big time.
That was a fun game to watch, too. Like, I was at my father-in-law's house, and he actually had a game to put on. I said, let's try this one, right? 2 former quarterbacks going against their team.
Yeah, man, it was fun.
Yeah, so it was a good game, man. Steelers pulled it out, though, man. Jalen Ramsey, that game-saving tackle.
Man,
Garrett Wilson.
It was a good game the whole way through, too. So, yeah, I was loving it as a Steelers fan, but, man, I watched it. I had to, I'll go back through and have Red Zone on one channel, but I had to focus on the game because it was so close. I was watching every minute. It was awesome.
Yeah, I bet it was a fun game. I think that was the best game, and the only one that was better was the Bills versus the Ravens. That was incredible. I had Josh Allen in both my leagues for a reason.
Yeah.
And that guy made 2 passes, 3 passes tops, and he was driving the length of the field to get him a score, bro. It's crazy.
Dude, I have Josh Allen in 2 leagues as well, and I wasn't worried at all at halftime. I was like, yeah, he's just getting warmed up. We've seen this so many times before, but I still didn't expect that. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely the top 2 games.
And honestly, I was watching the game the whole time, and I wasn't really watching the fantasy until the second half. So I didn't even know he had a slow first half. I was just like, this is a good ass game.
I thought I was going to lose in both of those leagues, but I didn't.
Hey, Josh Allen for the win. Hey,
yes,
we appreciate
W.
you. Big J-A.
J-A.
Sorry, guys. Philadelphia Public Education System. Sorry.
Public schools killed us, man.
Well, listen up, ballers. It was a pleasure having you here again in another week. Obviously, given the circumstance of what happened, we want to show respects to the family. So we appreciate you guys following us and everything that you do. Joe, did you have anything for these guys?
No, just, hug your wife, hug your kids, make sure they know how much you love you. You never know how quickly things can change. Yeah, it was a jarring day, but really makes you reflect and think about what's important. Football is not important. This shit's just fun. Family's what matters above all else. So make sure they know how much you love them.
Absolutely. And if you're a religious person, trusting your one true God.
Yeah, say a prayer for Charlie and his family.
But anyways, ballers, we appreciate you. We'll see you here same time, same place next week. We love you guys. Tell your kids, tell your grandmas. We love to get the fans. So you guys have a good rest of your day.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, sir.